Hello, Adya.
Hi.
Thanks for having me. There's tears.
Come on up nice and close so I can hear you.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name's Tanaya.
Yeah.
And I came up for asking about guidance and asking about how does one move forward. I, like the woman that spoke yesterday, had a teacher for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke about love and how you can have deep love but not be compatible.
Right.
And there were ways in which we were not compatible that finally came to a place where we separated. I love her dearly, and I feel her as the truth. I know she is the truth. And there's something really wonderful about having a teacher where there's that guidance of you're on the road and you're going to see a bump or you hit a bump, and they go, well, here's what you do next time you see a bump. And or kick you in the ass when you need a kick in the ass. And, you know, there's something really wonderful about that. And in the last 10 months, well, in those 18 years, I mean, there was lots of things that I understood. I understand a lot, and I understand nothing. But I came to a place where I came to a lot of maturity, at least as a human being, and accepting life on its own terms. And I knew how to do that. You know, I got to a place where I knew how to let go of those. I knew how to let go of desire. You talked about that this morning, about, you know, those desires coming in. Mm-hmm. And I came to a place of that, and where I was ready to, and I feel like I'm ready now to understand true meditation, but I don't know how to proceed. I've had some of those experiences that people have, not for long glimpses here and there. I can go there. I can feel truth when I want to feel truth, when I really, you know, set myself there. But I don't know how to proceed. And it's disturbing.
What's your intention? Proceed towards what?
Towards that place of truth that I know. You know, it's like I'll sit down in meditation and there's the stillness and then there's the mind, you know, and my mind's very active. I've never been a very good meditator. And I don't know how to proceed with that. I don't know how to, I don't even know how to ask the question.
No, you're doing fine. I understand.
It's just that when you know, there was a time when I knew how to release those emotions and that desire and that, you know, that crap that would come up. I'd know how to release it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to proceed. Okay. I feel like this is a new path, and I like it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's get to, of course, the important thing here is first the groundwork. The most important thing when we see if we want, whatever we want to call it, truth, awakening, whatever. If that's what we really want, then the orientation comes away from not so much being totally concerned with what we're doing, although there can be doing in it, but not that just for the moment the orientation recedes from what we're doing or what we should do or what's to do next. And you get reminded of really what awakening is all about and what it completely hinges upon. And what it's all about isn't so much, initially, what do I do, but what it really hinges on is what is it that I am. That's what gets missed, right? Mm-hmm. In the doing, whether it's meditating or I'm releasing this or releasing that, or I'm learning how to do this or I'm learning how to do that. And the real central question of, well, who the hell is doing all of that? You see? Who's sitting there meditating? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? What is this thing called me? Really? Not in ideas, you know, there's lots of ideas about it, but in one's actual experience. You turn that light of awareness in and you say, what is this thing really? When I am always wondering what I should do or how I should proceed, what is this thing called me? Mm-hmm. Really? Do you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you look for it. Have you ever looked for it?
I have.
Have you found it?
No.
Why not?
So I guess it's not there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not there. So have you spent much time with the not there-ness?
I have glimpses, and I have glimpses every day.
I get it.
Little
I know.
things.
Yeah. So I'm coming around to the doing of it. You see, we're actually doing it now. That's the whole point. You can only do so much. Let's get that clear. You can only do so much, and you're only asked to do much less than you ever imagined. Okay?
Okay.
The only part that you have to play as your mind, the only part you have to play is to get yourself to the frontier, the boundary of your mind. That's your job. That's the only job you have. So when you look inside, say for instance, really look inside, I can't find anybody there. At that instant, you're actually at the boundary, right?
Okay.
You don't know where else to go, right? There's nobody there, but there's something or somebody noticing that there's nobody there, and that's a ridiculous contradiction. And I still want to know really what I am, and I'm noticing that I can't find myself as an entity. There may be a sense of self, but even the sense of self doesn't define who you are. And so you're at the boundary of the mind. That the question has taken you efficiently and quickly to the very edge of it, the frontier of it. Once you get to the frontier of it,
there's fear.
there's fear.
Yeah.
And I would say when you get to the frontier, you just stay at the frontier, you sense it. That's why I always say to people, what's it feel like, that state of not knowing, of not finding? There's nothing, there's not somebody here as an entity. I can't find myself. Well, what do you find? There's nothing there. Well, if that's what you found, nothing, then why don't you experience that? Why don't you be with that? Then you're at the frontier, right? Just be with that. And of course, the next common question is, well, what do I do next? And the answer is there is no next, because the next thing has to come from the other side, which means you can't do the next thing.
That's grace.
That's grace.
Yeah.
That's grace. But you can't. What you can do is get your mind, your consciousness to the frontier, realize that you're there, and experience that amazing, that lovely unknown of it, that mystery. See, this is what I try to get people hooked on, that what you are is something that is ever present, and yet when you go looking for it, you can't find it as a thing or as someone. Very mysterious. And yet mystery means it's not just an idea of mystery, it's not an abstract concept, it's also a lived experience. Feeling the mystery of you are, or what you are, even though you don't understand it, even though it may not have blossomed. That's the doing. And that's a very, very, very powerful doing. Yeah. And knowing that that's what you can do, and also, just as importantly, is knowing that trying to do more than that is actually just a way of making horizontal movement along the gateless gate. It's not actually penetrating, Just stop there, and you have to be taken. You see?
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's very simple. Yeah. That's the difficulty of it, is that it's extraordinarily simple. And it's very arduous for a human being to do something very, very simple with any consistency.
And we don't want to stay there.
Yeah, we don't want to stay there. We want to have it explained. We want to go back to theorizing. We want to read what everybody wrote on the gateless gate when they got there.
Right.
All the theories of how to get beyond it and everything. There's a great tendency to want to go into complexity, isn't there? And that's natural.
Right.
So when you recognize that, it's just natural. That's what human beings do when they meet the unknown. They go into complexity and explanations and make horizontal movement among the frontier of the mind. But recognizing that is very powerful, because then you realize, because you've been through it, you've done it, and you go, I've done that. I've gone through the complexity. I've looked for explanations. I've looked for teachings to make it all make sense. Yeah. I've been through there.
I've done all that.
Done it. It's over. Yeah. It's got me here. Great. Bow to what's got you there. Thank it. And be there. And just be there.
Wait till the fear comes up, and then
Yeah, the fear comes
it'll
up.
come up.
Fine, then you see what you've been running from for decades,
Right.
right?
Right.
I've been managing my inner state because I don't want to feel that.
Yeah.
That insecurity, the unknown, the uncertainty, and the fear that it creates, right?
Yeah.
And you realize, holy smokes, 90% of my spiritual path has actually been a way to modulate that experience, to make sure I don't have to deal with it.
That's what it feels like.
You get it?
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
make the mistake of coming to me. And I go, oh, no. No, this is not about modulating. That's where you belonged all along. That was your doorway. They didn't tell you that, and you never expected it, because we think the doorway to heaven to be nicely garnished, just beautifully painted. We don't think it's going to be, stark raving existential terror that I will die and the void will suck me up into infinity and I'll never know anything ever. We don't think, that's the doorway into heaven,
Well,
But there it is.
It does come up, and then I avoid it in some way.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, come back. I want to try again.
I
And
know.
it doesn't come back. It doesn't
You come back
necessarily come back in its own time.
when you least expect it.
Right.
Yeah. All it needs is a good yes. People say yes to what? Yes to whatever the fear threatens you with. I'll die. Yes. Today, I'm willing. In fact, let's get it over with. Go ahead, void, swallowing me up, kill me, stop my heart, do whatever you want to do. I've had it. I'm done running. I'm tired. Yes. That's all it takes. Just a simple yes. Not a courageous Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes. Not a masculine yes, I will break through the gateless gate and, yes. Because, it's infinity. That kind of yes, it's nothing, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's just that, it's that simple thing. It's so simple. It's just simple meaning, right? It's innocent. It's humble. It's quiet. It's just that thing that's done running away.
Yeah.
Just, yes. Okay. Enough. That's all it takes.
My ego gets a hold of it and says, oh, well, gee, there may be an earthquake, and are you ready for that? And, all the things that we're experiencing in the crisis of the world, it wants to grab hold of that. And
Yeah, yes to that
for
too.
my own, my bodily fear and need. But
Yeah, but it's all the same
See.
bodily fear, you see.
I guess so when I look at
It's
it.
all about, will I exist? Whether it's spiritually, will the void swallow me up?
Right.
Or will we all blow ourselves up because we're so insane? Or will we destroy the planet and, just, wither away? You see, it's all,
Stay with it.
it's all, when you look at it, will either I exist or we exist, but it's ultimately the same thing. Will I continue? It's the fear of non-existence, which is just the fear of transformation. The unexpected, the unknown. What happens if I just stop?
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Enjoy yourself. Yeah. Because that's the gift of whatever paths we've been on, whatever have got us to this moment. If they truly have served us, that's where they get you. They get you to that place of being stripped. Just stripped. I can't believe in another path anymore. I just can't do it. I've been there. I've done it. I don't know where to turn. I don't know where to go. Here I am. This is the last place I ever wanted to end up. Isn't this great? Love this stuff. And here I am. And and then you just stop. When you're ready, then you just stop. It stops you. And you feel it. You even get the intimation of it immediately. This immensity of some mystery. It's right there. It's been waiting for you, and then you just, but explain it to me, Just stop. It'll catch up. Yeah. That's why I've always thought of myself as like, in baseball, they have the starting pitcher, and then the reliever, and then they have a closer. I'm kind of the closer, Basically, people usually come to me when nothing else has worked. Yeah, all right, we'll give the Adya a try. Nothing else worked, We tried everything else, That's okay. We all have our part to play, don't we? Yeah. Yeah, but maybe you get there with the first step. That happens too. Sometimes people, no step at all, no spiritual path, no history, no seeking, no nothing, but they're already there. They're just like, the truth, I don't care. I don't care what it is. I just want it. I don't care. They don't even need all that warm up, you never know. But it's nice to know there's a lot of company. When you get to the end of the line, you're not, it feels alone, but you're not alone at all,